Hello YouTube. In today's video, I'd like to make a video review on the KAIWEETS HT206D digital clamp multimeter, which costs around $45 on Amazon.com. The meter comes in a soft case, which contains the meter itself and an instruction manual. It's pretty handy, and it's pretty good English. It has a temperature sensor and the cables for measuring the voltage or the resistance or capacitance. So one of the most common uses for a digital clamp meter like this is to measure AC current. So I have a socket here and a cable which goes to the 60-watt light bulb. And when I plug it in, the light turns on. Now if I get the meter and put it to AC current and I put it around the wire, it says that it's measuring 0.47 amps, which this light bulb should draw around 0.5 amps, so it seems to be pretty accurate with the AC current test. Another common use for the digital clamp meter is to measure DC current. This can measure up to 600 amps of both AC and DC current. So if I turn on the fan here, which is actually a heater fan, draws around 10 amps, and you can see it's running now. I've got my meter. If I put to DC current, it does have a little bit of current here already. So what you do is you just zero it out by holding down this button. Now when I put it around the wire, it shows that it is pulling 9.8, 9.9. It will settle around 10 amps once this heater fan gets up to full temperature. So it's almost at 10. There, we just hit the 10 amp mark. So now it's a lot more accurate to measure AC current with this meter, but it does do DC current, which a lot of the clamp meters available do not do. With the probes attached, you can also measure AC and DC voltage. So if I get out my 12-volt battery here and I have it on DC voltage mode, you can see now that it's measuring 12.76 volts. And if I switch it to AC voltage mode, I have my 120 volts AC live wires here, which are right there. I've got them plugged into the socket. I'll move this a little closer into the frame. And I touch the probes to the wires. Kind of hard to do single-handed. You can see it's measuring 116.3 volts. This also does AC frequency. All you do is hit the button one more time, and it should be on frequency mode. So if I just touch, which it already appears to be picking it up wirelessly from the small amount of capacitance, but if I just touch those wires there, we can see the frequency of this AC voltage is 59.9 Hertz. Another useful feature of this meter is its ability to measure resistance and capacitance. So right now I have a 25 ohm resistor. If I touch the probes to it, it shows 25 ohms. Now if I click this into capacitance mode and I touch it to the legs of this 22 microfarad electrolytic capacitor here, it shows that the capacitance is 1922 microfarads. This meter also has a continuity beeper, which beeps when the electrical circuit is completed between the probes. If I set this meter to that mode, to the beeper mode, and touch the probes, you can see it's beeping, which means that there is a short circuit between the probes. Another feature that is pretty interesting, a lot of meters don't have this feature, is that it can measure temperature, and it claims to measure up to 1,000 degrees. The probe here has some kind of fiberglass material over it to protect it from high temperatures. And if I put my finger over this probe, it said 56. The temperature is now rising from the heat of my finger. And now it says that it's 81, 82. But if I let go of this probe and just kind of leave it up on the desk, you can see the temperature is already dropping back down. So some things I like about this meter is its low cost, only being about $45 on Amazon, versus a lot of meters similar, but the name branded ones are several hundreds of dollars. Also, something I like about this meter is that it is a true RMS meter, meaning that it will accurately measure the voltage of a non-sinusoidal source, such as one from a modified sine wave power inverter, like what I use in my off-grid solar panel system. I also like that it has the clamp meter function, so I can measure the current going through a wire without having to physically tap into the wire. And the things I don't really like, some disadvantages, which there's only a couple, are that the temperature sensor can be off by a few degrees. It's not the most accurate way of measuring the temperature. And also that the DC clamp meter is not nearly as accurate as if you measure with a regular meter. But overall, I really like this meter. I think it's a great meter. And if you're interested in where to find it, I'll leave the link in the video description. And I hope you like, share, and subscribe. And see you in my next video.